It's the last days of October. The trees are gradually changing color, discarding the mantle of green as the forest bids adieu to fall and begins to prepare for the upcoming winter. The fallen and withered leaves create a thick, colorful carpet that covers the forest ground. The red stags, tired and spent from the rutting fights in September, are trying to regain their lost power through copious amounts of rest and eating. The young stags are still exuberating their playful, youthful zeal. The older ones are more relaxed and once again begin to make peace with their neighbors. For fallow deer, the end of the rutting season is drawing nigh. Now, only the most determined bucks continue their pleading calls. Most of the exhausted bucks now leave their rutting stands and go off to rest, to get away from the stress of their test of strength. The same cannot be said for wild boars during the last few months. This particular game species spends every day of the year in search of food. The wild boar is a highly adaptive, intelligent, and resourceful animal who, under any circumstances, will find a path to food. The wild boar is truly a prolific breeder as well. Under optimal conditions, the mature sow can have up to 8 to 10 squeakers in one litter. Since they have no natural predators in Hungary, in the absence of intensive hunting, the population of wild boar would multiply very quickly in a short time. This would put a great amount of pressure on the environment, not to mention increased crop and forest damage. Decreasing the population of wild boar is an important task of game management. So from November onwards, game managers work to control the wild boar population with driven and silent beat boar hunts. In Hungary, big game group hunts must abide by a set of strict regulations. Before the start of the hunt, safety instructions and maps showing the direction of the drive and other important information are given to the hunters. The information leaflet must also contain a phone number to call in case of emergency. Only hunters with a valid gun license and an annual hunting permit, and in the case of foreigners a hunting license, are allowed to hunt in Hungary. Hunters who have had alcohol or taken any other mind-altering drugs before the hunt are expressly forbidden to participate in the hunt. During the briefing, the leader of the hunt assigns each of the hunters a partner who will lead them to the hunting area, show them the direction of the drive, and present the forbidden and safe directions of fire. Hunters may only load the gun when they are at the hunting stand and only right before they are ready to take the shot. In the interest of safety, a clearly visible notice of the forbidden shooting directions is posted on tree trunks. The hunters are cautioned well in advance not to take a shot when they see something moving in the thicket because that movement could be the beaters. A well-organized and disciplined beating line has the key role in a driven hunt. Another essential participant in a successful driven boar hunt is the well-trained dog. In Hungary, mostly different terrier breeds are used for this purpose, but almost any dog, non-purebred as well, that is small and nimble, perseverant and brave, and has a passion for hunting, can be used to take on this rather dangerous task. The hunt leader lists the game species that can be taken in the driven hunt. Both for hunters on a drive and for silent beat hunters, the star of course is the wild boar, of which any age or any gender can be hunted. Occasionally, the host may ask the hunting party not to shoot old mature sows which are leading sounders. On a driven hunt, besides boar, hunters are allowed to hunt predators such as foxes and golden jackals. If the population of deer also needs to be culled in the same hunting area, game managers may organize a silent beat instead of the driven hunt. In this case, besides wild boar and the predators, hunters may hunt antlerless deer as well, but the use of dogs is not allowed. Antlerless fallow deer and mouflon ewe and lamb may also be hunted on these silent beat hunts. Where appropriate, the host can allow the hunting of roe deer does and doe kids as well. However, a hunter may only shoot a roe kid if he can identify the gender with certainty. In fact, the bucks begin to shed their antlers in the winter season, while the buck kids are just beginning to grow theirs, and they can only be seen from close up. The hunter is not allowed to leave his hunting stand until the end of the drive. During the drive, the hunter may not go off alone in search of game and should wait for his guide with whom he can begin the search. When the animal has been shot, they drag the animal to the road in order to make it easier to collect all the game together. Wounded animals that have fled to the bushes are taken by the professional hunters. Field dressing of the animal should be carried out immediately in order to prevent the precious meat from going bad. Finally, the game that has been shot is brought to a common area where, according to tradition, the hunting day is closed as hunters pay their last respects by displaying the taken animals on the ground. By early December, the branches of the trees are almost completely bare as the forest prepares for the coming of winter. Now, only the blackberry leaves have color, and green patches in the thicket slowly fade to various shades of reddish-brown. The more desperate leaves continue to cling and roll up into narrower and narrower slivers in the cold, swirling breezes of the forest. Although sun rays easily penetrate the forest, they are too feeble to awaken the flora deep in its winter sleep. A frozen silence in anticipation of snow blankets the forest. But soon the silence is broken by the sound of beaters, barking dogs, and gunshots. It's time once again for the annual winter drive. With high hopes, each hunter makes his preparations for the long-awaited boar drive. Scopes are put on the guns, and in the case of conscientious owners, a few shots are taken from a sure position in order to be confident of the accuracy of their guns. Then, on the morning of the notable day, the hunters draw numbers, secretly hoping and praying to the gods of the hunt that this day will bring a large army of boars into their firing range. But neither the most advantageous position nor luck matter much if a hunter has an issue with his shooting skills. It may be that the person is normally an excellent shooter and 10 times out of 10 hits his mark from a blind, leaning against a tree, or using a shooting stick while the animal is standing with his side exposed. During a driven hunt, however, these types of shots are only rarely available. To get a perfect shot on a moving target, a fleeing animal, requires a very different type of shooting discipline. For the most part, the prey, often a large amount of them, run at a very high speed. An animal running like this can only be taken when the hunter is composed, has steady control of the barrel, and is able, at the right moment, to calmly and evenly squeeze the trigger. Hunters may practice their skill at shooting moving game only at a proper shooting range. If a hunter does not practice, the long-awaited hunt will be a struggle and most likely a failure, and certainly not a memorable experience. To be on a winter drive and get a great shot on a moving boar is every hunter's dream, but very few hunters sacrifice the time, money, and effort required to obtain the necessary shooting skill. Choosing the right gun, calming the nerves before the shot, the slow, steady lift of the gun to the shoulder, proper judgment of the direction and speed of the moving game, all while maintaining the momentum of fine shooting technique and the development of perfect eye-hand coordination are some, but not all, of the important things a hunter must practice if he hopes to get a good shot on a moving animal. But we caution any hunter against going to a range alone and practicing, as they say, in a self-taught way. Without the supervision and guidance of an excellent shooting instructor, self-taught practice does not lead to progress, but rather leads to a greater number of failures. To correct ingrained bad shooting habits and instill good ones takes a lot more time and effort than if a hunter starts out being properly trained and correctly learning shooting skills. When in a shooting stand, it is recommended that a hunter clear the area he is standing on from debris. The crackling of dry leaves and branches can alert the sharp senses of an escaping animal. It is also advisable to remove troublesome overhanging branches in order to get a clean shot and not have it hit the branch instead of the side of the body. If the animal is in an unreachable place and the shot can't be taken, it is advisable to clear a path on which the hunter can quickly and noiselessly approach several steps closer for better visibility. Often, especially in areas difficult to access for the beaters, getting from one drive to another can take hours. During these times, a hunter would do well to bring something to sit on while waiting for long periods in the same spot. The map for the driven hunt shows the location of each hunter in the line, the direction of the drive, and the position of their neighbor's rifle. Some people take the strap off so that it doesn't bother them when they are moving. Others, on the contrary, wrap the strap of the gun around their arm to stabilize the gun and thus take a much more accurate shot. Hunters use a wide variety of caliber rifles on a driven hunt. Most of them have a preference for large caliber guns and bullets that are considered to have stopping power and which don't expand as much as other bullets. The use of 7mm or less calibered guns on a driven hunt is not advisable. For scopes, if a hunter is within a distance of 80 to 100 meters, lower magnification scopes that have a wider field of vision are recommended. If the hunter is shooting on more wide open space at a distance of 100 to 150 meters or even further, then a large magnification scope is recommended. Even before the start of the drive, a hunter should be sure to check that the scope is at the optimum magnification setting. On a driven hunt, it is always a good idea to have a lot of spare ammunition on hand. It is better for a hunter to take home unused bullets than to bear the shame of having an empty gun and not being able to do anything when a large group of boars make a mockery of the unprepared hunter. Don't keep bullets in an inaccessible place like a backpack or the inside pocket of a jacket. The bullets should be easy to reach when they are needed. An extra full magazine can come in handy in sticky situations. In a driven hunt, usually deer move first. In most cases, even before the drive has begun, the deer are alerted by the sound of the vehicles, dogs, and people, and they immediately make a break for it. In Hungary, whether on a driven or silent beat hunt, it is forbidden to shoot any stags. When on a silent beat hunt, antlerless deer, namely the hinds and calves, can be shot, although the leading hind and the calf following her should be spared. The hunter should instead choose one of the stragglers in the group. Like red deer, roe deer also flee much earlier than the boar. While the does can be hunted on a silent beat, the fleeing females to an untrained eye are not easy to distinguish from the bucks which have no antlers at this time of the year. A hunter must only take the shot if he is absolutely certain it is a female. In the case of mouflon, the rams with horns are not allowed to be hunted. Only the ewes and lambs can be shot. Foxes can be shot, although many people do not exercise this option for fear that the noise of the shot might drive away an approaching boar sounder.
first-class trophy, understand the unique value of your hunting trophy. With our knowledge of game anatomy and expert craftsmanship, we capture that special moment of your hunt, preserving it for a lifetime. As Europe's largest taxidermy company, we have generations of experience. Since 1999, our team has won international recognition and multiple Best in World and Best of Europe titles. Discover the collection of over 30 awards and download our free portfolio book for inspiring ideas on your next trophy mount.